Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Inspired and Empowered Living TV show and podcast for a thriving business and life. And we are live on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, and my YouTube channel. And today, we will be doing episode number 7, taking the first step. So we've covered, you'd recognize the signs, you've answered your soul's calling, and now comes the moment that changes everything. It's taking that first step. So in this final episode, you'll discover how to move beyond hesitation, turn intention into action, and begin creating the life and business you've been called to live. And you'll learn how to overcome fear, self-doubt, and perfectionism. And you'll learn small, consistent ways, like why those are important to keep momentum going. And my name is Nancy Deutsch. I'm your host. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, certified hypnotherapist, and intuitive business expert. I combine my counseling, coaching, and intuitive abilities to transform your life and business. This show is not a replacement for therapy or counseling. It is for educational purposes only. So let's jump in to taking that first step. And I really want to thank you for being with me during this journey. I'm going to recap the series. So in episode 1, you recognize that you've outgrown your current chapter. Episode 2, understanding why your soul is calling you forward. 3, moving beyond fear of leaving the familiar. Episode 4, trusting the unknown. 5 was reinventing yourself at any age. 6, creating a vision for your next chapter. So my question for you is, what dream have you been putting off? What step have you been avoiding? And if you knew that you couldn't fail, what would you do next? And so what I want you to know is that your next chapter doesn't begin when you think that you've got everything perfect. It begins when you decide to take the first step. And perhaps the first step is listening to the show. So let's talk about why you don't take that first step. You may be waiting. Maybe you're waiting for more confidence or clarity or certainty or more time or more money or more knowledge. And fear convinces you you're not ready. And the perfect time rarely comes. And so, what I really want you all to know is that you don't need to have all the answers. You only need to have the courage to begin. And I invite you to look at, what have you been telling yourself that has been keeping you from taking action? What have you been telling yourself that has been keeping you from taking action? And we have Mickey says procrastination, Anastasia not sure to where to start. And then Misty, welcome Misty. It's good to see you. So many I have forgotten, sad to say. So I really want to invite you all that you only need to do one. And I'm hoping that through this episode, you'll get clarity on that one step. That's it. Just start with one step. So, for those of you who may have forgotten, or those of you who are not sure where to start, and also, even if you know that it's perfection or procrastination, no, one step. And Misty says, too many false starts in the wrong direction. And so, what I really want to support you, Misty, and all of you to know is that it doesn't matter, because even though maybe those things didn't work out, what I invite you to look at is, what if you needed to make those false starts? And I'm putting it in air quotes for those of you who are listening, because maybe you needed to experience those other starts and look at, what did you learn from them? Or what is it that you discovered? And what I'm hearing is that you have sadness about all those starts, but I want you to look at this as other ways. And I'm going to, most I wish I hadn't. Okay, thank you, Misty. What I'm going to share with you is that I've also um had, I have this vision of where I'm going and what I'm doing, and I've had false starts. Um and then I took steps and then never followed through because I had to be perfect, or it wasn't good enough, or whatever was going on for me at the time. But what I want to share with you is that every every start taught me something new. Everything that I've learned up until this moment in time has been an experience that has taught me something. And so, what I invite you all to do now is to look at, where do you start right here, right now, today, coming from where you are in this moment. And you may need to grieve and work on letting go of those old starts so that you can feel like you're starting fresh and new. And that's what I invite you to look at, is to start, it's starting at that you could be starting fresh and new. And even if it's something that you've tried in the past, or that you've done in the past, or you worked on, remember, this moment right here, right now, is not the same as it was maybe a few days ago, a few months ago, a few years ago. That you are a different person, and maybe you needed to be and have the experiences you need to have in order for you to start today, right here, right now. And Mickey says, it's a matter of doing for yourself, not for everyone else. Put your oxygen mask on first. And you got it, Mickey. You got it. It's so important to be able to start doing for yourself and not everyone else. And yes, you have to put on, not, I'm going to rephrase that because I said have to. And I always want to support you in making that conscious choice to choose to put your oxygen mask, doing that self-care to take care of you first. And Misty, I hear you said easier said than done. I get that it is easier said than done, but start and maybe for you and maybe for many of you it's going to be starting with taking care of yourself. That may be the first step that you need to take, is what I call the essential self-care. That may be that first step that you need to take. And I know I just repeated myself, but I don't care because you know what? It's crucial. It's essential self-care. And so you may think once you feel confident, you'll take action. And what I want to remind you is that action creates confidence. Experience builds on confidence. And every small step, every small success strengthens your self-trust. So some of you, maybe it's learning to drive. Some of you, maybe it's speaking in public. Some of you, maybe it's starting a new job or a new position or launching a new business or launching a new chapter in your business or beginning a healthier lifestyle. And the reason why I said that is that's really what's happening for me. And as it unfolds and as it develops, I'll share more of the journey. But right now, what I want to support you in knowing is that wherever you are, it just starts with that one small step. And I'm going to ask you a reflection question. Where in your life, and I want you to think about your life, and I want you to think about where has your confidence grown because you are willing to begin. Now, some of you, and what comes to my mind is some of you, those of you who are parents, can you remember what it felt like when you were having your first child or only child and you were like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know how to do it. But then you learned. Or maybe it's riding that bike or learning to drive the car, or it could be so many different things. And so, what I really want to support you in is that it's about the progress, it's not about the perfection. And that's what I want to support you. It's the progress, not the perfection. Okay, so Mickey says you have to see the difference and you have to do what is best for you. It's not easy when there are so many factors involved, but things will work out. So, yes, you, okay, let me finish Mickey and then we'll go to Misty. So basically, yes, you have to figure out the difference and see what's working, what's not working. And ultimately, yes, you have to, it's about being able to discover what is best for you. What is it? And yes, there are many factors to start. And before you can start or before you take that first step. But I really believe that even if, remember, we've been talking baby steps. baby steps, even if it's a baby step, that can help you begin the process, the journey, because this is a journey. Remember, it's not a destination, it is a journey. So that small baby step can begin the process. And Misty says, different times in life, just not playing out in the right order. I hear that there's many different times and it doesn't seem like it's been playing out in the order that you had really wanted. But um I want to invite you again to start thinking about what can you do for yourself? And that's the most important thing right now is what can you do, each of you, do for yourself? And it doesn't matter if it's a baby step or a regular step. It's about starting it. Just one little step can make a difference. Because when you start doing that little step, those, just like I said before, that can build and give you the confidence to do the next one and the next one. So back to progress over perfection. So a lot of times you may think, well, I have to be prepared. Excuse me. And that could be your perfection, your perfectionism stopping you, blocking you, keeping you, and waiting. Maybe you think that you need to wait until everything is perfect until you can move forward. And I'm going to tell you, I work with a lot of clients that it's that perfect thing. And it's about bringing it into a smaller task-oriented way of being, whether it's for your business or whether it's for your life or a certain area of life. It's about what we call chunking it down into smaller tasks so that they feel doable. That's the baby steps. And what I want to remind you is that progress, even a baby steps are important, that creates momentum. Every step, whether it's a baby step or a regular step, will help you. If you can imagine the doorway to the next place that you want to go, your next life, not your next life, but the next chapter of your life. And there's this doorway, and each baby step will move you towards that doorway. That's what's most important. And even imperfect action. What I really want you to know, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just doesn't. It has to be good enough. It has to be doable. Look, I realized I sent out an email today and I was like, "Oh no, it wasn't perfect." And I was like, I could have gotten upset with myself, but I'm like, "All right, I need to surrender. If this is really going to happen, it's going to happen and the right action will unfold." And so I'm trusting that it's going to be okay. And it's what I said before is that every step you take and every experience you've had in the past is an opportunity for you to learn something really valuable about your process, or valuable about the experience or what you're learning. And so what I want you to think about is, where would perfectionism be preventing you from taking action? Where would perfectionism prevent you from taking action. And here's the thing, small steps lead to big transformation. Yes, those baby steps, just like I was saying, still get you towards that door and help you walk through it. And so every meaningful part of your journey begins with one decision. And small, consistent action can still create lasting change. So, examples of small steps. Suppose you just need to make that one phone call, or send one email, or register your new business, or attend one networking event, schedule one coaching session. Maybe for you, it's updating a resume. Maybe it's starting to write your book. Maybe it's having one courageous conversation. Whatever yours is, I invite you to think about it. So take out your journals for those of you who have one. And if you don't, I invite you to bring journals so that way you can work with us and perhaps have some major transformation during the show. So I invite you to write down one goal. Yeah, take a breath, everybody. Take a breath and feel your feet and go into your heart. Take that breath, feel your feet, and go into your heart. And ask yourself, what's one goal? One goal that I really want, that I really want to achieve. And what would be the first step in being able to achieve that? And then what's one action, one baby step that I can take in the next 24 or 48 hours? That's right. In the next 24 or 48 hours, what's one action that you can take? And what's really going to be important is learning to trust yourself along the way. Learning to trust yourself along the way. And here's the thing, it's you don't have to see the whole vision, you don't have to figure it all out. It's about taking that one step. And what happens is your intuition, and you want to take that step following that inner guidance, what I call your intuition, and know that your intuition, that inner guidance, becomes stronger every time you act on it. And what's really interesting, there's two ways clarity comes. One way that clarity comes is through movement, through doing, through taking action. And as you take action and as you move and as you take the steps, you'll start getting clarity about the next step and the next step, or what direction to move in or how to move in that direction. Now, what happens also with clarity is it may come from that deeper part of you. It can come first. But I will tell you that you may get clarity from that deeper part of you, that inner wisdom, But it's not until you take the actions and you step and you step and you step that gives you even more clarity. So know that clarity comes through that movement, through taking the action. And so I invite you to think about and feel into, what has your intuition or your inner guidance been encouraging you to do? What has your inner guidance, your inner wisdom been encouraging you to do? And I want you to feel into your heart, what decision feels right here, right now? What decision would feel right here, right now? So Anastasia says, this is where stress comes in. So Anastasia, what I want to ask you is, can you tell me what exactly you mean? Like what point is where the stress comes in for you? Is it trying to get clear? Is it trying to take that first step, figuring out what step to take, chunking it down? So I want you to narrow down what is giving you that stress reaction. And Misty says, but acting on false clarity has been an issue. Okay. So I hear that you have thought you've had clarity, but then it's been false clarity. So here's a couple of things, ideas for you. One is you can try doing you could try doing something at the top of a page in your journal, like the action step for me if I was really clear, the action step I would take is, if I was really clear, the action that step I would take now is, and write and see what comes. Just keep writing, and see what comes. And Anastasia says the figuring out where the start is. Okay, so Anastasia, what I suggest is you also, I would suggest that for you in the journal at the top of the page, you say something like, the place for me to start is where, or I need to start at, and just really see what comes. Okay. So this is really important. And when you're journaling, it's really important you're not thinking, you're just writing. And it could be a brainstorm, and it could be anything, and some of it may be silly, and some of it may be angry, and some of it may be fearful, and some of it may be right on target. But letting it out and journaling it and answering the question can help you find the starting place. So instead of trying to figure out where to start, and you can even ask your inner guidance or your inner wisdom, again, put at the top of the page, the place for me to start is, and see what happens. And I really invite you, and I would love to hear all of you, what happens for you if you do that kind of exercise. And Misty says, it's like looking through glasses with lights on, and then being in the dark. So I'm hoping that maybe these exercises can give you some more clarity and help you see the light in the darkness. Help you see the light in the darkness. So hoping that might work for you. And I'm going to give you, I'm very excited. My assistant and I, we have been putting together a new self assessment for you. And this self assessment is going to be, it's all about, am I reaching my full potential? It's a 3-minute self assessment. And what you do with the self assessment, you're going to understand where you are living your potential and where you may be holding yourself back. And then you'll discover actions or the next step that you can take for your personal or professional growth. So, those of you who are being challenged right now, I invite you to sign up for Am I Reaching My Full Potential 3-minute self assessment. And you're going to go, for those of you who are listening, you're going to go. Rebel just put the link in the chat. And for those of you who are listening, you're going to go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com, the name of the show, inspiredandempoweredliving.com / full potential dash ebook. Full potential dash ebook. And so I invite you to really discover more about how to tap into your full potential and learning and understanding where you are now and what needs to happen going forward. So, very exciting. And so, what I want you to know is that it's going to be important for you to take those steps and becoming what I really want you to know, most of all, it's not about the goals or the achievement. This is really about becoming the person your vision requires. It's about becoming the person your vision requires. And so, like I said, it's not about just achieving something. It's about becoming the you who you're meant to be. And that's all about that potential that you are and tapping into the potential you are. And that's why I'm so excited to bring you this self-assessment, because it can help you really discover more of where you are and what step or steps you can take to keep moving forward. And I invite you to think about, now last show we did a little bit about your future self. So I want you to imagine right here, right now, and of course, if you're driving or operating heavy machinery, you can always come back to this show on YouTube or on the podcast. And I invite you to think about your future self. How does your future self think? How does she or he make decisions? How does she or he respond to challenges? How does she or he handle setbacks? How does she or he show up each day? How do you lead? And how do you care for yourself? Remember, essential self-care. And every time you take that small action, that baby step, it's a step towards becoming who you're meant to be. And you create the identity shifts through consistent action. That's how the identity shifts happen. So let's celebrate. Let's celebrate how far you've come. Because even if you haven't taken that first step, or even if you have, what I'd like you to look at, have you discovered more self awareness? Or maybe you realize you have more courage than you realize. Or maybe you have a clearer vision. Or maybe you have a stronger connection to your intuition or hope for your future. And I really want to remind you what's really important is for you to celebrate every baby step, every insight, every breakthrough, every mindset shift, and every small action you've taken. So, what I want to remind you is that this is about you becoming again who you're meant to be. And your next chapter is waiting, and you don't have to have every answer. You don't even have to eliminate all the fear. That's not even possible. But I want you to know that it's about being courageous, and being courageous is being able to take the step, even if there's fear. And I want to remind you, you don't have to be perfect. It's taking that small step and beginning. And so I invite you to really allow yourself now to think about your next chapter. And I invite you to join me. I want to thank you for being here for the next chapter series, when you know you're meant for more. And we have a new series coming. Starting next week, it's called Reset, Refocus, and Thrive. And know that your journey is just beginning. Wherever you are on the journey, it's just beginning. And we're going to explore how to pause, how to realign, how to intentionally create the life that reflects who you are today, whether it's your life or your business, and not who you used to be, but who you are now. And you'll discover the practical strategies and how to help yourself if you're feeling overwhelmed or stretched too thin. And you'll learn how to empower yourself so that you can regain clarity, renew yourself, and renew your energy and move forward, feeling more confidence and purpose. And so I invite you, to join us next week at 5 p.m. Eastern on talk4tv.com, w4wn.com, my YouTube channel, and the podcast are on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Apple, Amazon, and many more. And you can get the link for that potential session, And I see Anastasia has a thing, but I will get to what you're saying, Anastasia. I'll share it next week and we'll talk more about it, okay? So no stress, no pressure here, okay? So we will continue more next week. And for those of you who want to get the ebook, your Am I Reaching My Full Potential ebook, go to inspiredandempoweredliving.com, the name of the show, / full potential dash ebook. And it's a 3-minute self assessment to help you really look at your potential. And so we will see you next week. And I wish you all an inspired and empowered day, night, and week. Have a great one, everybody. Bye for now.